this past week probably held one of the most significant milestones in my life up to this point of launching an online business that I'm really proud of. And so it also seemed to happen the most low-key, under the radar way, where I was in the middle of a whole bunch of other things and just so happened to launch. And it was super uneventful because you think, oh man, new business, grand launch or something like that, but really wasn't all that special, at least in how it happened. The lead up to it, I spent the past year plus probably ruminating on the idea for the business, and finally had the balls to actually pull the trigger and start building the product and start marketing the thing about 3 months ago. And so I spent the past couple months, since I guess it's more like 5 months now, from February and March up until last week, building the product, building the website. And it has a whole bunch of fancy things because I'm trying to build this for the long term and not just have it as, a lightweight, agile, flexible thing, which is probably not the right way to go about testing or validating an idea, because who knows if it is actually going to work out. But I mean, part of the process included a pilot program where we validated the idea for the product. Now is kind of when we're testing if people will pay up. And so this is the part that I'm really looking forward to, because I really haven't made a single dollar with online business. My first time trying my hand at this was back when I was 17 or 18. That was when I first learned about the online business vehicle of dropshipping, which for better or for worse is when I learned about financial freedom and time freedom and all of these different entrepreneurial ideas, which have colored my worldview since. And I tried to build a dropshipping store. So I did a bunch of market research. I guess it wasn't that great of market research, evidently, since nobody bought. But I also had my own fatal mistakes where I did all the back end, right? I built the website, paid for the Shopify store, set up the Stripe connection, all of these different things. I had everything for the product side set. I even took my own pictures. I ordered the product. It was an emergency sleeping bag, and I was trying to, be in the camping niche. And I even ordered the thing from China, took pictures of it on my own, went for a big hike to do a photo shoot during sunset and sunrise and in the snow. And it's just I took all these pictures for the marketing piece and then never even made a single ad, never even posted on Facebook ads or anything like that. And I think part of the reason for that was because I was scared. I had never run Facebook ads before, but that's kind of how anybody does it, right? That's how anybody gets into something new. They've never done it before, and then they just try it. But I was so scared of trying and failing, and also super frugal at the time, which, not to say that I'm not anymore. I was just so scared of investing even $100 or $200 to $500 to try something, especially because I was a beginner and it was my first time. But I guess scared money doesn't make money. And, coming from an Asian household and just having that strong emphasis on saving, it really was not helpful for my business ventures at the time. And, in the grand scheme of things today, what is $100 to $500 to $1,000 to invest in something that, if you really think it has legs, why would you not do that? Why would you not take that bet? And I'm fortunate to be in a better position now to be able to spend money like that. And not to say that I am right now. I still have a pretty strong aversion to it, but I'm trying to reshape my attachment to saving and my frugality, not to the full extreme where it's hey, just go blow all your savings on, stupid shit, but thinking a little bit more thoughtfully about the value of the dollar and how far it can get you when applied in the right vehicle, like something like a online business that if you really believe in it, then I think it makes sense to make that trade. But at the time, I guess it subconsciously was telling me that I didn't have conviction in my product, because it was literally a fucking aluminum foil emergency sleeping bag. Like, yeah, I could understand, I could come up and rationalize in my head some use cases for people who need it. Like, yeah, you could buy one and you could store it in your car, and it doesn't take up much space. It's the size of a soda can, and in case you're in a cold part of the region, right? Say you're in, like, I don't know, the north. Say you're in Canada, say you're in Alaska, and there's a stoppage on the highway, and then your car runs out of gas. You have no more heat. That would be a use case for this emergency sleeping bag. Or if you're a camper, right? Like, I could come up with things if I wanted to, but I just really, I had never used it myself, and so I guess I just didn't have the conviction in the product, and that's why I never really felt comfortable taking the leap to make an investment even of $100 to test out a product for real. So again, I built the whole product side, had the website, had the domain, all of it, made the logo, made everything look super nice on the website, and then never even posted a single ad. And so I've had a couple attempts like that where I have started. Another time that I tried drop shipping was sophomore year of college, so that was probably 2 years after my first attempt, and it was like the product was, I found through doing market research, was a shaver or a hair remover that was basically just like sandpaper on like a little thing, and you kind of just like rub it around in circles, and it exfoliates and removes your hair, which I thought could do well, and I actually did a little bit of a better step than my first attempt, where I actually posted some organic content, and that was my vehicle, because I was still so scared of Facebook ads at that point and investing money in something that I had no experience in. I didn't know how to run Facebook ads still, and I didn't want to spend money on something because I was just scared of the investment, I guess. And I think part of that was, again, the loss of conviction in the product. I tried it out on myself to make some of these creatives, and I tried doing some silly marketing things to try to go viral, but it just was not, I don't know, I guess I just didn't have my heart in it because I didn't really believe it, and it wasn't something that I would find useful. But at the end of the day, people are buying stupid shit all the time online, so whatever. I guess maybe it's I think it's, at the end of the day, a good thing that I have such a high bar to clear for something that I'm willing to sell, because if I can't see myself finding value in it, I have such a hard time thinking that anybody else will, and I have a hard time seeing value in a lot of things, at least like in the material consumer kind of focused era. And sorry, there's no quiet place to record in Pittsburgh. I forgot. There's trains going by all the time, but we're gonna try to keep powering through this here. And so all of this to say is that kind of this final attempt, or this most recent attempt at starting an online business, it really feels super different for me, because it's a process, it's a service that I'm selling, rather than a product that you can kind of touch and hold and feel. And it just feels a lot better to me, because I essentially, as a service-based business, I am the product. I hold my reputation and integrity to a super high standard, and I just feel so much better selling me as the product versus selling like some random, drop shipped item from China that I found on TikTok doing market research, right? And so, yes, the services business and online coaching space kind of has its own, reputation, and could be positive for some people who have tried it, could be negative for a lot of people, and kind of just what you hear about the space is not always the most positive, but every business is going to have its challenges, right? And I think I'm actually finally happy to be able to pitch something that I have such strong conviction in. We've tested it with other students and it's worked. And so, yeah, it just feels different this time. And in the past, I have always tried to have that outlook that, yep, things are going to work out. If I sell this fucking camping bag, I'm going to kill it. But I guess I never truly believed that to my core. And that's evidenced in the fact that I don't still do those businesses today. But this time around, it's like, yeah, I could see myself doing this for a long, long time. And I've gone through this process. I've built this process myself. And just really looking forward to seeing how this develops and how it shapes up. Especially because it feels like all the cards I have all the right cards in my hand, right? Like I graduated during a time where this process and this service could be of great need. There's high demand for something like this in the marketplace that I'm targeting. And yeah, just, being this age versus if I was 50 years old trying to be in this niche, it's all of it is and the experiences that I've had to validate my expertise and credibility in the space. It's just like, I don't know. And how nothing was handed to me in my process. It was like I had to go out and get everything for myself. And it's just really, I don't know, I feel like I have all the right, the stars are aligned, which is not the right way to go about these things. And I've talked about that in the past is, there's never a perfect time for anything. And there's never going to be a time where you have the whole deck in your favor. And it definitely doesn't feel that way, but it feels like at least the cards that I have in my hand will take me a good way as long as I continue to play them, right? If I just keep them sitting in my back pocket, not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So as long as I'm playing the cards in my hand, I have faith that things will turn out. So that's kind of the main motto for me these days is continuing to take action, continuing to stick to the plan, not getting sidetracked or distracted with, the likes or the views on the marketing material. Just when the right person comes across the content, comes across the funnel, I think we're offering something that's kind of like a no-brainer for people who really need what we have to offer. And so I'm being purposely vague on my business right now, just like all the other online business folks do, just because, I don't know, I don't think that any, the people watching this right now, or you, as in talking to my former self, because that's really who I make these videos for, are my ideal customer. And so, if you really want to know, I've told select few people, and I have enlisted some people from my network to help me out with this, but if you really want to know, reach out to me on some medium and we could talk. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, and it's so funny that this all just happened so uneventfully. I launched it, just scheduled a launch for our first video to post, and it got 0 views, but I still have high confidence and conviction and faith that things are going to work out because we're doing the right things. Finally have a blueprint, a recipe, a game plan to follow. And as long as we stick to that, I don't see how things could turn out any other way. just have to keep the faith, because if I stop, obviously things are going to fall apart. But that is, it's always an option to stop, right? You always have options, but that's not one that I'm willing to consider for the near future at all. I think that's kind of, I don't even, there wasn't even really like a lesson to this video or anything like that, but just more or less recapping the journey and sharing the milestone that I hit, because it wasn't anything significant for me in the day-to-day, but I know that I'll look back on this and really remember it as a positive, and it'll be a big milestone if things are, again, shaping out the way that I'm intending them to and putting the work towards to make it happen. So thanks for watching. See you next time.